Hello, and welcome to Mama Ruth's house. I'm so glad you stopped in. Today, we're going to be making lemon blueberry cookies, and we're going to be using the butter and regular sugar. These will be 3 points each. They're a little pointy, but not bad. And I am going to double them because I'm going to be taking them and sharing them at Weight Watchers tomorrow. So I'm doubling the recipe. So everything that I'm putting in here, like I said, is doubled. So it takes butter, eggs, lemon zest, freshly squeezed lemon, lemon extract, cream of tartar, um, baking soda, all-purpose flour, and pastry flour, and a little bit of salt. My butter is salted. It said unsalted, so I'm going to use a little less salt than what it calls for. I don't want it to be too salty. All right, let's get going. Just like any other cookie, we're going to cream our butter and sugar. Now, these cookies do require that we put them in the refrigerator for about a half an hour. So we're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to do that. Now, you can also use the whole wheat pastry flour, but I did not have it. So this is what I'm using. We're going to put in, we're doubling this. So it calls for 5 tablespoons of butter. We're going to put 10. And it calls for 1 cup of sugar, and we're putting 2. And then we're going to blend this together. Cream it. We want to just mix this until it's nice and fluffy. Use my spatula and get in there and make sure that I got everything off the sides. My butter's still a little cold, even though it's been out all day. It's just kind of chilly in the house, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and add our eggs. Our lemon extract, it calls for 1 teaspoon. I put 2. Two tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And I'm going to put a little dab of food coloring. I think I'm going to put just a little bit more because when I put that flour in, it's going to it'll lighten it up a lot. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my lemon zest. Oh, it smells so good. So lemony. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and sift my flours. This is my all-purpose flour. And I did 1.5 cups of each. It calls for 3/4 cup of each. And then this is the pastry flour. Pastry flour, if you're not familiar with it, is just a little bit finer. Well, a lot finer. And then we're going to put our cream of tartar. Oh, that was the baking soda. This is the cream of tartar. And we put a teaspoon of each. It called for a half a teaspoon, and we're putting 1 teaspoon because we doubled it. All right. And our salt. It calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I just put a little tiny bit in there. It would have been a half a teaspoon, but since my butter is already salted, I decided not to do that. I'm just going to kind of mix this together a little bit. Just to kind of incorporate it. So I'm going to put a little bit of this at a time in of the flour mixture. It's going to be a thicker dough. We're going to ball it. We're going to drop it on our cookie sheets in balls. So I'm thinking after a little bit here, we're going to be mixing it with something else. With our spoon or our spatula. I'm going to go ahead and take this out, and I'm going to start mixing it with the spatula. So these cookies are a little bit chewy in the inside, the center. So we have a little bit more of our dry ingredients to incorporate. Now this does not call for any glaze or anything like that, but I am choosing to add a glaze made with the Swerve, but that's the Swerve confectioner sugar and lemon. And I'm just going to drizzle that on there. I think it's going to give it a great flavor. This time of year, it's so nice to be able to cook with the lemons, and the blueberries are going to be so good on here. It's a nice dough. Mix it up here a little bit more. I just want to incorporate all that dry mixture into the wet. And you can see how much lighter the yellow got. It's perfect, I think. You can do it. You can leave it out or you can put it in. It's totally up to you. I just feel we eat with our eyes, and if it's yellow, then we assume it's lemon. So I'm going to use this I'm going to try to use this little baller to make my cookies so they're all the same size. I have a cookie scooper too, so if that doesn't work, then I'll use my little cookie scooper. We always make it work. All right. Almost all incorporated. Just a tad more. These are a pretty easy cookie to make. Probably a little time consuming because of rolling them in balls. Every year I make candy, and it's my signature thing that I do for the families, and I give it out as gifts a lot of the times for our families. And this year's no different. I'm going to make a few candies and give it out, and I'll bring you guys along, and I'll point it, and we can choose to eat it or not. So this is a lifestyle. This is a long-term goal that I have, and you're not going to not be nostalgic and have some stuff, whatever kind of things you want. That's what I like about this program, is I can have whatever I want. I just have to count it. So that makes it very nice. All right, I'm going to put this, I got to cover it and put it in the refrigerator for a half an hour. Then I'll bring you back, and I've made my cookie sheets with parchment paper, and it says to only cook one batch at a time in your oven. So I'll be cooking them for a minute. And they do spread, so it says to put them out 2 inches apart. All right, we're going to cover this and put it in the refrigerator, and we'll be back. Okay, it's been a half hour. We have our dough, it's all chilled. I don't know, I'm going to try this first. It says 2 teaspoons. And you just roll it up. Put them on our cookie sheets. I just did the parchment paper on the cookie sheets. This should make 72 cookies, but I don't know. I might be making them too big, so we'll see. Actually, that little ball thing is working pretty good. My little scooper is working just fine. Well, not now. I think those are just a little bit too big, so we got to make them just a little bit smaller. So it says make them 2 inches apart. So I'm just going to squish these down just a little bit. And I'm just wetting the bottom of this cup glass. Okay. Now it says to put 3. I think this one's a tiny bit too small. We're going to put 3 blueberries, but these are kind of big, so we may not put 3. Look at how big some of these are. I'll just put 2 on the ones that have a lot big ones. I washed and dried these. So they take 8 to 10 minutes in the oven. I'm going to put a little tiny one there so it has 3. All right, I'm going to put these in for 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to start them. Oops, I missed. We have our oven on 350. I'm going to bake these for 8 to 10 minutes. So you just push those your little blueberries right down in there. Came out. And then we're just going to put a little bit of a glaze on them. You keep them on the baking sheet to cool for about 2 minutes, and then we'll put them on the wire rack. I'll transfer them over. So I am just going to put some Swerve in here, probably a cup or so. And I got my mixer over here. And this is my lemon juice. And if you get it a little thin, like that's a little thin, just add some more of your, but I want it to be a little thin, but not too thin. If that makes any sense at all. I want it a little bit thicker. right, I think that's good enough. And I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. But first we're going to take these off of the pan. You want to glaze your cookies when they're cool. And then I'm going to put these on here. So these are pretty cool. These are cool enough to do our little glaze thing. We're just going to put a little bit. We don't want a lot on there. We just want a little bit, just to give it a little. And then it'll dry on there. You could do it with an icing bag with just a little hole in it. If you're not comfortable doing it this way. And of course you could use real, powdered sugar. You don't have to use what I'm using. But it's the same. You just do the lemon juice and then look how cute those look. All right, I'm going to keep making these and we'll test one. And of course the glaze is going to set up. Let me put you up. And we are going to try it. I didn't let it set up. We're just going to test it. These are super yummy. I hope you enjoyed my mess all over. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make these. I hope everyone enjoys them tomorrow at Weight Watchers. And I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you for following me. And subscribe and share. And until next time, make a fantastic day. Bye.